Right, this is a quick little video just to show you how I rig my baits up to my circle hook setup. I'm going to do a separate video on how I make my rigs and how I'm doing my new rigs that I'm going to test this year. But this is an old rig, these work absolutely fine. This one's already rigged up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off just to quickly give you a run through of the rig. Put that down there. It's this, if I can get that off of there, tangled up. There we go. So this is a 2-hook setup. That's your main hook here at the front. This is a 5.0 that I'm using and a 2.0 on the rear. Now the rear hook I use for bait holding purposes. The main hook is this front hook here. And if I just show you this, there we go. So it's essential that this hook has that movement, full hinge movement. This allows it to work itself properly when you come to hooking up, so that it can circle into the fish, so that the hook can work properly, you know, like kind of that. If it's tight, if it's really tight up there and has hardly any movement, you're going to have a lot of non-hookups on your runs because the hook just won't be able to work properly. So that's the hook setup. As I say, I'll make another video running through how I make these and how I do my new ones. So you take that main hook, grab your bait. Now this one's already got a hole in it because I've already been playing about. But what you're looking to do is locate the tailbone and the end of that fish, and you just want to wiggle that hook through the tailbone. You just want to pierce it through. You don't want to break the tailbone. You're trying to get a grip of it through it, because that then gives you the anchor point and it can take all the force. So this one, I've already done the hole as I say, it's through there. And then I would take my bait holding hook. As I say, this is just used as an extra grip. I take it through the side, circle it round, and then back down onto the body like that. Nice and flush, not hanging out. Now, as you see the tail hook, it's got a little bit of fouling with that tail. Now you might think that's nothing, the hook will pierce through that, but it can foul it and it can let it slip on the edge of the mouth once you come to hook up. So what I do is I take that, let that hook sink down. I would then cut that section of the tail off, just so that the hook point there doesn't have any fouling. You just want that to be even just running over the top of that, but you don't want it to be fouling the tail. And that's it. Now I put my baits out with a bait boat quite often, so I've actually got no need for the bait holding hook, but when I do cast them out, this is where this can come into play a little bit, especially when your bait's softer, you know, if it's defrosted or it's been in the water for an hour or two and you're recasting, it's defrosted out, your bait's going to be a little bit softer, but that tail hook through that bone should still be holding it nice and well. But what you can do, you can bait elastic that around. Now I'm not a big fan of the bait elastic. Or, there's a little hint and tip of mine, this is from the Cart Boys, you can get your PVA tape or PVA string and quickly, just before you go to cast out, you don't want it sitting on there for any length of time because it will dissolve, but just before you go to cast out, give that a quick wrap with the PVA tape or tie it off with PVA string. That will hold this second hook really tight in there, and it'll stop a lot of, you know, rip-offs. Your bait won't come flying off, but it shouldn't anyway if it's through the tailbone. But I like to just be extra cautious. I'll do that anyway, just to keep things hunky-dory and everything working fine. And that's basically it. That's your rig setup for using the circle hooks. Now as I said, I'll make another video run through my hooks that I use, the hook sizes. I've already told you the hook size on these anyway, but I sometimes use varying different ones. I'll go from, you know, 3s, 4s, 5s, sometimes even a 6.0. And yeah, that's it. It's works perfect every time. And I'll never go back to trebles, if I'm honest with you. I've never had a deep hooked fish using the circle hooks. Now, there's a technique to hooking up with circle hooks. You don't strike, you wind into the fish. But I'll run through that on another video. This was just a simple video to show you how I rig up my baits to my circle hooks. So we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.